All right. So I was going on a family trip the last weekend. I took my kids to a theme park for a couple days and had a nice time. And over the last little while, I've been just thinking a lot about local businesses and business owners I talk to, and they like to use the word scammed, right? To talk about their experience. And while I do think a lot of people end up wasting a lot of money on services they don't need or that don't work in the time frame they expect them to, I do like to give people the benefit of the doubt, right? I like to assume that most people are out there, they're trying to do a good job for you. Maybe they just aren't very smart, or maybe they're just bad at what they do, but they're not necessarily trying to scam you. But that doesn't really matter too much. What the driving factor is behind this. The reality is a lot of home service and local businesses end up spending a lot of money on services that don't work in the way that they expect them to, or that just don't work at all. And what does that mean to me? It means you don't get a return on your investment or even recoup your investment. Okay. That is what I would consider not working, right? Not seeing any progress, right? That kind of stuff. So where this all ties in, though, is while I was driving with my family, I'm just like blasting this music I used to listen to. And this lyric pops up and it just like sideswiped me. It just hit me right in the face that it was like the best way to say this. And that is, everyone has something to sell when you're buying. And when I heard that, I just like took pause and I had to write it down and just think that's like the perfect way of saying this. And I think this is exactly what happens with so many home service business owners and local business owners is when you decide that you want something, you're a buyer. And as soon as you're a buyer, someone's got something to sell you. And I always try to like really pull people back and try to help them understand what it is that they're buying from me, because I would rather have somebody for a long time than for a couple months. But that's not how most people work. Most people are going to convince you that what they're going to do is going to work. It's going to work quick, and they're going to sell you something, and they're going to take your money. So what is the solution for this? And I think like anything in this world, the solution is education. Educating yourself on on marketing. You have to be a marketer. So with that, I'm just going to walk through some of these thoughts down this road, right, that I have, and kind of some of my traffic cones or, warning cones that I think you should consider if you're looking to grow your business and market your business. So number one, know what success looks like. That's the first thing. I think the education, right, everything. If you don't understand generally what is happening behind the scenes, and that goes with one of my last thoughts here as well, which is if you can't explain it to somebody else, what's happening, then you don't have any business paying for it. Even if it's something crazy like AI marketing or something, there's things I don't understand, right? With coding and everything, I don't know what's actually happening, but I know generally what the outcome is and the general process to getting to that outcome. You have to know that for yourself. Right? If you don't know the difference between SEO and ads, you are screwed, especially if you're paying somebody. You have to be able to explain what it is you're buying. And I think that also is a protective mechanism as well, because if you can't explain it and they can't explain it to you in a way where you can explain it, then they are probably selling you something too complicated that it's unlikely to work. Okay. The things that we're doing might be complex, but they're not complicated. And there's a difference there. Complex means there's a lot of moving pieces. But generally, the idea of what we're trying to do is very simple, right? SEO, move up in the rankings where you show up in Google search. Ads, pay for when somebody sees or types in a keyword or types in a certain word. That's like Google ads, right? On Google. Facebook ads, putting a piece of image with some text and there's some text below it, right? That people can click on and put in their information. These are things you have to understand how they work, and you have to be able to repeat them. So that's the first thing. Second thing here that I have is niches. You need somebody who can generally understand your business. There is a huge disparity right now between people who do SEO and people who do local SEO. It's so different. But if you don't know that and you call an SEO company, they're going to convince you that they're going to do SEO for you. But they're not doing the kind of SEO that's going to move the needle for you. That's things like blog posts, right? Like backlinking is helpful, but more focusing on search engine results, not on Google Map results. A local SEO is going to focus on Google Map results first and local results second, whereas a traditional SEO is going to focus on blog posts and search engine results, and just they're not equipped to do local. They're not there. It's a totally different game, right? And you can even go further than that. I really do think you want somebody who understands your business or who wants to learn your business, right? It's important. I have to learn all these local businesses. It's a lot of work, but luckily for me, I'm fascinated by every local business, right? So when I get a plumber on, I get to learn more about plumbing. I love that. Roofing, gutters, right? Dentists. It's all so unique. But you need somebody who's going to understand your business and separate that out from everybody else. I think that's really important. So that's this niching that I think you need to understand. I talked about this already a little bit, knowing the difference between ads and SEO, right? Or being able to explain these things. If you don't understand what they are, how do you prevent yourself from getting hurt, scammed, losing money, wasting your time? And how do you know if it's even working, right? So that comes to just generally tracking, understanding tracking, make sure that just like you would with an employee, your marketing company has some kind of responsibility to you. There's accountability. You're meeting with them. You're talking with them. I think that's very important. And then the last thing I'm just going to say is, don't sign freaking contracts. I actually don't talk about this enough. I guess I just hate them so much that I never do them. And I hate anybody who does them. I tell them they shouldn't do it. But a lot of people out there are going to get you to try to sign a contract. You know who they're protecting? Themselves. From what? From you. When they suck and they know they freaking suck. They're going to tell you, oh, 6 months is going to take me 12 months. Yeah, okay, great. One, I would prefer living in a handshakes world, but we don't live that. Well, I do. I do. You know, that's how I live. I like honesty. I like being upfront. I like giving people, you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I get that. And I just think anyone who is trying to make you sign a contract for marketing is trying to protect themselves, not you. You're already starting off your relationship with them putting themselves over you and saying, we don't really care about you, we care about us. And I don't like that. I don't like that. I think it's bad business. I think it's bad for you, especially as the customer. So don't sign contracts. Don't lock. I don't care if the contract is just 5 lines that say, hey, this is a contract. Don't sign anything. As soon as somebody says, sign something. I don't care what it says. They are now they're putting you in a position of distrust, and I feel like they don't understand your business. Like, I work with a lot of new startups and people who are just trying to get their business started while they're also working their contracting, or they're trying to build a brand now. Like, I get it. Like that kind of work changes. And I think so contracts, those piss me off very much so. Don't sign contracts. Don't ever sign a contract. That's it. That's all I got. If you want to talk more about your business, josh@brightbeamseo.com, or you can visit brightbeamseo.com. I have a download right now, how to build your business on Google Maps with SEO, step-by-step guide. If you want to do it yourself, or you can look through it, get an idea of what I'm going to be doing. And I'd love to talk more about your business. If you want to as well, feel free to hit me up. Otherwise, we will see you tomorrow. Peace.